Hello. I had started this, but the sun was in my face. Now it's gone. So anyway, I am back. Talking today, as it says in the note, about day 4 of the Embody Your Dreams Challenge. It's about magical archetypes. So this concept is actually pretty huge, but I decided that I would just go ahead and start it because that's how I work personally, and that's how I work with clients. And so that piece is kind of missing here, so we might start seeing that more in this group. And so I wanted to introduce it. And I also think it's a really powerful way to work and build a practice around something. So in the exercise, you're going back to your day 1 and you're making an archetype to work with based on where you want to be, your dream, your vision, the end goal. What, as I said, the end goal for all of us is to know ourselves better and to know that our life purpose is ourself. So hopefully you've gotten some breakthroughs. I haven't seen a lot of in this group talking about it. That's fine. I understand. I sign up for challenges and I don't do them until like a month later. But so you are welcome to comment on this, even if you're doing this a month later or a year later, or whatever. Like I said, I'm keeping this in the units so everyone in the group has access to it. So that's that. I have been getting emails here and there from people, and I appreciate that. I've never done the challenge before, so it's kind of nice to know what's useful, what's not. I have this feeling I'm squeezing way too much into it, so let me know if that's the case, if you're overwhelmed, anything like that. Yeah, so I'm just going to briefly discuss it. It'll be here available for questions. If you have any questions, go ahead and comment below, no matter when you're watching this. We have another day if you want a card pull based on an affirmation you wrote or that you need help with. I have to put like a container on that, otherwise I'll be pulling cards like all the time, and I can't be doing that for practical reasons. So if you want a card pulled, it'll give you until Monday to let me know on what day was that. Day 2, I think. So comment below that video. Magical Archetypes. So this is a really big way that I've worked. So when I look back, I used to be so afraid of doing things like the wrong way, and I was a few years ago, probably 5 or more years ago, I was really into doing things the right way. And I think that's a good place to start. Like, I'm teaching you certain modalities, and then later on you can hack them and come up with your own stuff, right? It's just, if you are learning or if you're in a rut, it's good to have some kind of modality to fall back on. But I was so afraid of doing anything outside of that. My lineage is yoga, so that's where this is where everything broke through. So yoga. So I worked with and I still work in some similar ways, but I worked in this very methodical way, and I was so afraid. And then I realized that wasn't very different from my Christian past, where God is like funneled through a church, and I'm not going to get into all that. I don't want to offend anyone. But that was not for me. So what I was doing is I was using this yoga path to be like an intermediary between me and God, or me and whatever, universe, higher self, whatever, between me and the divinity. So it's not clear. I'm not an atheist per se. But I do think that we have access to beautiful things, and we don't need an intermediary. So I form my own practices now. So this is why this topic is gigantic. It can really be its own course. And if you are interested in that, learning how to do this, you can either work with me one-on-one, or let me know if a lot of you like it. I'll build a little course or another challenge around this. I think it'd be fun. I love this stuff. So basically, magical archetypes. So in the example I used in this, and for you in the group, that are in this challenge, is that you take your vision, your big dream of where you want to be by the end of this challenge, or whatever time, and you make that into an archetype. So you personify it. And for me, that works much better than manifesting something that isn't tangible. When I personify my vision into even a human form, see, it's really getting out there, right? But I think this group can follow. So when I personify my vision into a human form, even if it's still me actualized in a larger form, in actualizes a good in a way that is more integral of who I am. You know, I'm really into growth and all that. So, so yeah, when you personify growth and you don't see it as this thing that's too far from you, then I think it's more tangible, and then you can have, you know, access to it. So let's say, and that's why I love using tarot cards, or tarot, however you want to say it. Tarot just sounds so pretentious to me, so I don't say it, even though that might be the proper way. So anyway, as a side note. So I use tarot cards a lot of times to personify, to help me visualize something that I'm working on, something that I want to, you know, integrate into my life. The archetype is not outside of me. It's usually a characteristic that I already have or someone has, but that I would like. So I got really obscure in the email, but I'm working right now with the archetype of my grandmother who is deceased, because you know, as I've been working with Sarah in this group, she's actually who I have worked with recently, doing Reiki with me, just trying to embody love in this more tangible way. And so in this way that feels, you know, healing a lot of my past mother issues and generations of, you know, pain. And so without getting too deep into that, I'm working with my grandma. And so I build like a practice. We'll go over how to build a practice, but I build that around her because I want to, if my end goal is to really personify that motherly love and compassionate love that she had, that really pure love, then and also on another note, I'm not as comfortable with the feminine, you know, energy it's like not a safe space for me to have that feminine energy showing through. I really, and by the way, feminine energy exists in males too. So that, just to be clear, feminine energy exists in all sorts of people and things. So all of us have that. But my safe space is more to be, or what's associated with the masculine. So I don't want to dig myself to a hole here, but like just being very, not my grandmother. So I don't even have to assign it to, not my grandmother, who was very gentle and loving, giving, things like that. Ease. She, for instance, really thought that you had to eat sugar. It was barbaric. She would say that in Spanish, barbaric for me to drink just water with my meals. So just enjoying life and showing a lot of nourishment to myself. Kind of decadence too. She really liked that kind of thing. So yeah, she's teaching me that. I don't believe, and some of you might do this, but I don't believe that she's like floating into the room and drinking tea with me. But I do make tea for her, and that's part of the ritual that my intuition told me to come up with when I built a practice with her. So she personifies love for me. She personifies this thing that I'm trying to bring into my own life. It's not that I'm completely void of love, of course, but there's this gentleness that she had, that is teaching me something. So I am working with her currently, but like I've said, I've worked with other kind of archetypes as well, usually a bunch of tarot cards. So on the other end of it, before I was kind of trying to start this as a business, I was working with the Emperor for let's see, like 2 or 3 months before I made this officially business. And the Emperor tarot card is very much masculine, about details, strategy, all that stuff. Making sure that I was doing things in a way that made sense versus just this flighty, you know, passionate person that just kind of wants to get something out there as soon as possible. And working with the Emperor helped me be a little more detailed. So yeah, it's pretty obscure. Some of you probably already work this way. But yeah, I wanted to explain that. I wanted to open that up for questions because I know it's a huge topic. And I would also really like to know if you'd be interested in courses or challenges or kind of content based on different tarot archetypes and practices based on that. It's something that's been on the back of my mind to do. It's just a lot of work to do if no one's interested in it. So if you're interested in that, I will happily do it. I'm like aching to do it. I just want to make sure that people will get something out of it. I'm not making things just to make things, you know? So if you're interested in that, let me know. Because there's a lot of knowledge there. And it's a great way, like I said in the beginning, for you to learn a modality when you're kind of trying to make your own practice up. You know, it's not all bad to follow something. I'm very grateful for my yoga path and for teachers and everything I learned to do things like the right way, because from learning that modality, I could hack it, you know, and I'm all about hacking, if you haven't noticed. So hacking your spirituality, hacking it to make sense for you. So this is just one modality that some people work with. I have found very powerful for myself. And so that is working with a magical archetype. I want to stay on here longer. I just don't know if anyone can see this. I see people like popping in and out, so I'm not sure if I'm having connection issues again or what, but please feel free. I'll be here for like 15 more minutes live. Even though I'm not on the video, I'll be here for 15 more minutes live. And I will be here, you know, whenever you get to see this video. Comment below if you have questions. Also, feel free to message me. Something else I will explain is that I work with people one-on-one. We work with different archetypes, usually tarot, sometimes other things, and I pick specific cards for you to work with. We build a yoga practice from it, energy work from it. It's actually a lot of fun. I really enjoy it. So you build, I work with people in that way specifically. So building practices around archetypes that will help empower. Also, on the other side of it, help you dig into your shadow side a little bit more. So it's pretty deep. That's why I don't work with that many people. I work with maybe 5, 6 a month for 8 weeks at a time. So 5, 6 people at a time for 8 weeks at a time. And you can expect a lot of archetype work with yoga, energy. I include 2 readings in that as well, like really deep ones. So you'll be hearing more about that officially. I'm going to do just discuss what that's like, because a lot of people have been reaching out, not sure what it is, and I want to kind of build like some understanding around what my work looks like, because I haven't shared that too much in this group, which is unfortunate, because there's this group and then there's my work, and they don't you can't really see that here. So I want to bring that more forward. So a few things, if you have questions about this, go ahead and let me know. If you're interested in more work with archetypes through tarot, if you want to build like practices around that, I would love to build that. I just want to make sure there's enough interest. And thirdly, if you're interested in learning more about my mentorship program, let me know. If you're in Kansas City, we can just meet at a coffee shop, whatever, or my office if you're comfortable there. But I will go to you. And then if you are online, we just talk on the phone or talk through Facebook. Pretty simple. So, and that's free, of course. So let me know any of those things, and I hope you have a great day. I'll be here for about 15 more minutes.